Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Day sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Cantea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Today we start our show, and for the bulk of it, talking about COVID-19. Our friends outside the capital city, particularly in the New Orleans area, I think I can hear Jonathan whooping it up in the truck outside because, oh, he's at the station? Okay. Well, that explains why I don't hear him quite as loud. Our friends in the Crescent City finding out this week that tomorrow they will move to phase 3.3. Does anybody know how many points they're going to go through in New Orleans before it's actually phase 4? 9? Okay, well, you're a third of the way there at 3.3. The biggest changes will include, for the city of New Orleans, larger capacities for both indoor and outdoor seating for bars. Indoor gatherings, as of Wednesday, can now include up to 100 people. The city, however, is stressing that if you've got 100 people, your venue has to be large enough so that you can still abide by the 6-foot separation for social distancing. Indoor gatherings can now increase to 150 people. And again, that is, observing the social distancing norms. Indoor live entertainment, still not allowed. So if you're thinking that's great news, more people indoors, maybe we can go back to live entertainment, not yet. Despite the data, in Orleans Parish, the city is seeing a spike in the university community following Halloween. And of course, city health officials are monitoring that particular situation. As of yesterday, November 9th, there have been fewer than 50 cases per day and a positivity rate of less than 3% for more than 6 weeks now. So all this being said, moving tomorrow into phase 3.3, amusement parks still not allowed to open. No fairs and festivals. If you were thinking that normality was going to resume, that's not on the list. Arcades, not allowed to open. Indoor playground and play centers, still on the prohibited list. Second lines and parades, not allowed. Dance clubs, not allowed to open as well. I never thought I'd live to see the day where second lines would not be allowed in New Orleans. And I mean, even if you're social distancing, you still can't do a second line with a mask and social distancing too. Oh well, I guess government knows better than we know. Wink, wink. So we will monitor it, see how it all goes on Wednesday, and hopefully before you know it, the good folks in the Crescent City will be celebrating phase 3.4 as they climb that ladder back to some semblance of normalcy. Meanwhile, COVID-19 still affecting high school football. A number of teams announcing this week that they may well have played their final regular season games. This is because a number of teams have had some positive COVID-19 tests, either among football players on the teams or at their respective schools among teachers, staff, administrators, what have you. Today, as a matter of fact, the executive committee of the Louisiana High School Athletic Association is scheduled to meet, and you can hear, literally feel the frustration from Eddie Bonine, executive director, and we'll talk about this in just a minute. Right now, he is attempting to dispel a lot of rumors that are going around. First and foremost, he is adamant that they have not had any discussions regarding canceling the playoffs and or championship. He is very adamant that, quote, there will be a lot of things discussed today at our executive committee meeting, and canceling the football playoffs will not be one of them. So if you've been in that circle where the rumors have been flying that because this team has had to cancel because of quarantine for 2 weeks, it joins another team, there's another team that's also done it, I heard they're going to cancel it, put that to rest. All of that is in no way, shape, or form been decided just yet. He is also addressing another rumor that has been floating around that the LHSAA is going to move the championship set for December 26th through the 29th away from the Superdome and over to Cajun Field in Lafayette and SLU's Southeastern Louisiana University's Strawberry Stadium. Rumor mill has it that those are the two sites that the LHSAA is going to move the championship game to. Quote, not true. We have not had discussions with any other site. So he is expecting that there will be some pretty freewheeling discussions at the executive committee's meeting today. Among the list of things that are scheduled to be covered, how many football games must be played by each individual team in order to qualify for the playoffs? Also scheduled to be discussed at the executive committee's meeting today, the football playoff brackets and the power rankings for 2020. As you might imagine, they will likewise cover what to do if COVID-19 impacts a playoff team, and what to do if a COVID-19 outbreak puts their January convention in jeopardy. This entire thing, as you well know, has been fluid, and it is so easy, especially in this age of social media, for folks to throw things out there, rumors. Well, I heard such and such, and my sister's cousin has a coworker whose daughter-in-law said, and the next thing you know, it's flying all over the internet, all over social media, without an ounce of truth to it. So that being said, we are going to attempt to get Mr. Bonine on the show tomorrow, obviously scheduling permitting, to find out exactly what is covered today in the executive committee's meeting and if any final decisions have been made in that regard. You know, responsible media goes to the horse's mouth to get the absolute factual information. So we are reaching out to Mr. Bonine, who's become a really good friend of the show, always accessible, and always giving us straight from the hip truth. So as we get closer, keep in mind, you're going to hear all sorts of things from all sorts of sources. And many times, as is the case, it's not going to be the truth. So keep that in mind as we get closer and closer, and continue to understand that all of this is fluid. It's unprecedented. It's something that no one has ever had to entertain before, and probably for the remainder of the season, for every one thing that you can think of, there will be 1.5 to 2 things that you didn't anticipate. That is just a part of the world that we now live in. So hopefully today, Eddie Bonine and company will be able to put to rest the rumor mill, the street committee, and all the other folks that have contributed to people wondering if it's going to happen, when is it going to happen, where it's going to happen, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And speaking of COVID-19, one of the issues on the periphery that we all knew in the wake of all these lockdowns was going to happen is that there were going to be some psychological issues affecting a lot of people. After we get our first break of this hour out of the way, we'll talk about a new study that has confirmed what many people knew was going to be an unfortunate side effect out of all of this. The mental impact, not only of the lockdowns, but for many people that have contracted COVID-19. It is, in large part, my humble opinion only, due to the unreasonable fear that the mainstream media generated behind COVID-19. And as a result, a whole lot of folks that contracted it, despite the fact that there's over a 99% chance that you will recover and not have any adverse effects, mentally, once something gets into your brain, particularly on a subconscious level, it's really hard to get it out. And this new study confirms that. Additionally, as we've all been told now, and as a whole lot of folk expected, am I the only one that finds it a little strange 5 days after the election, we've got a vaccine? We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more after we get the first break of today's show out of the way, and then we will come back and get a little deeper into all this COVID-19 madness right here where you've got it on the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Get 0.9% financing for 60 months on every new 21 Mazda, plus 90 days deferred payments during the season of inspiration at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
By all standards, he is a champion for consumers. Because of Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta, our utility rates are 35% less than the national average, the lowest in all of America. He saved ratepayers over $8 billion. Commissioner Scrametta brought us more reliable power plants and energy-efficient solar fields. Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta. Keep the commissioner who keeps our rates low.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Talking COVID-19 today, as it has had a resurgence, for lack of a better phrase, in the news cycle as of late. A new study published in the Lancet Psychiatry Journal says 20% of coronavirus patients later on will develop a new mental illness. The most common disorder, mental disorder, experienced by COVID-19 survivors within 90 days of their diagnosis, according to this study, are anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Quote, people have been worried that COVID-19 survivors will be at greater risk of mental health problems, and our findings show this to be likely. That particular quote is attributed to Paul Harrison, who is a professor of psychiatry at Britain's Oxford University. This particular study looked at the electronic health records of over 62,000 coronavirus patients here in the United States. The study group was twice as likely to suffer from a new mental illness than other groups of patients during the same time frame. I guess you could attribute that to just basic human nature. When the 24-hour news cycle pumps COVID, 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 COVID at you, even though the mortality rate is not something that warrants pumping it over and over and over and over and over and over again. If you consume enough media, mainstream and or social media, then it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that your basic psychology is going to end up being altered. When history finally looks back, if it is objective, and of course if it's honest, my gut tells me we will find out that the numbers were not nearly as bad as the mainstream media reported them to be. And we as Americans, unfortunately, will really have no one to blame but ourselves, because we have become a nation of people who have either forsaken thinking for ourselves, or we've become so lazy that we now rely on others to do the heavy lifting as far as thinking is concerned for us. It is a sad commentary, and typically my experience through life has been these things don't just happen overnight. It is something that happens in small increments. It's something that has to be attacked on any number of fronts, whether it is political, educational, media-driven, what have you. This is something that happens in small increments. I mean, all you have to do is talk to people these days, and you find out real quick that we have this alarmingly large percentage of people in this country, voters, mind you, that have no working knowledge of how our government actually works. All you have to do is talk to people, and you find out real quick how many people don't have an original thought anywhere in their brain. It's only talking points that the media has delivered to them over and over and over again. All you have to do is talk with people, and you can find out real quick who's been educated and who's been indoctrinated. To indoctrinate an individual, it's a process. It's a process to apply external force to an individual's psyche. To educate one's self, it's just that. It's something you have to do for yourself. And sadly, because so many of us have become so lazy and we let the media or social media do all the heavy lifting for us, it's a whole lot easier now to convince us to do things that are against our own best interest. Big news this week with COVID-19, surprise, surprise, Pfizer Pharmaceutical announcing we've got a vaccine, and it is showing the most promising results that you can imagine. 90% effective. I didn't have the time, and I guess that's going to be my self-appointed homework for tonight. I didn't have the time to research adequately. The last time in this country, or in the world for that matter, where a new disease, virus, affliction mysteriously popped up, and in less than a year, with limited clinical trials, we were given a vaccine that was 90% effective. When you look at the reality of the day, let's go back to last year. We've been dealing with the flu in this country for, I don't know, ever. And last year, despite dealing with the flu every year, the vaccine flu shot was only 47% effective. But with a disease that pretty much runs from the same family of viruses that we've never heard of, with limited clinical trials, in less than a year, we've come up with a vaccine that is 90% effective. Am I the only person that finds it strange that this all happens 5 days after the election? Am I the only one? Now, you've heard me say before, and a lot of you all are of the same opinion. I might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. Say what you will about us conservatives, and well, you know, Clarence, you got to realize y'all conservatives, y'all big on conspiracy theories and things about the government and this, that, and the other, so you have to expect that. Well, if you have been tracking this whole phenomenon since its inception, you know full well that a whole lot of folks were predicting as soon as we get the election over, it's magic. It's a miracle, I tell you. We've got a vaccine, and it's 90% effective. I guess you could make the argument that it's just a coincidence. I guess you could make the argument just as well that it's a miracle. I mean, we've never had a thing where we had to marshal all of the best and brightest minds in medicine and the pharmaceutical industry, and we've got this thing that if we don't defeat it, it might lead to the extinction of the human race, even though the mortality rate is better than 99%. Am I the only one that all of these dots don't connect? It was Shakespeare, was it not, Marty, that said something's rotten in Denmark? I'm just saying. I know, I'm pretty sure it was attributed to Shakespeare, but it might have been Patton. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Something's rotten in Denmark, y'all. Am I the only one here with this? So I've got to ask. We get this great news. Limited clinical trials, mind you, and Pfizer is seeking emergency approval from the FDA to put this into widespread use. I've got to ask, will you take the vaccine? What percentage does your gut tell you of our fellow Americans, when it's announced, okay, you can come get it, it's free, we're going to distribute it to whomever wants it? What does your gut tell you? What percentage of our fellow Americans will willingly go and get the shot? And does anybody else other than me find it awfully strange that 5 days after the election, we get this great news? Coincidence or 225-831-1029 will get you aboard. I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong, to think that this is American ingenuity at its best. We saw a problem, we marshaled the resources, we took it head on, we defeated it. But I got to tell y'all, the timing of all of this is awfully, awfully suspicious. What do you think? Love to talk to you. 831-1029 gets you aboard after our bottom of the hour break on the Clarence Bugg Show here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up. Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At Team Toyota, Toyotathon is underway. It's your chance to save during our biggest sale of the year. Get our lowest prices and our lowest payments on every new Toyota. Plus, get a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Toyota. Right now at Team Toyota.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. And Marty thought it was Denmark all that time. No, what you were smelling was the tree of liberty being refreshed with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is the natural manure. They always leave that part of the quote off. They always leave that part of the quote off. You know, looking at the announcement of the great news, we've got this vaccine now, it's 90% effective. If you go back and watch, analyze with an analytical eye, the most recent traumatic events in this country, there is a troubling thread that runs among them. Whether it is mass shootings, whether it's 9/11, or whether it's COVID-19, if you can scare people enough, you can get them to do pretty much whatever you want them to do. Patriot Act. Start looking at the freedoms and the liberties that we as Americans readily, willingly relinquish, not because of something that we have experienced personally, but because of fear of what could possibly happen. Thank God that the colonists, the founding fathers, the greatest generation, didn't buy into that nonsense. And as hurtful as it is to see where we have arrived as Americans, it's pretty easy to see if you simply look at the timeline. It has been an incremental approach to destroying this republic. I understand. I get it. No one wants to live in fear. And it is part of the natural law of things. Self-preservation is the first rule of man. I get it. And no one wants to be the victim of a terrorist. No one wants to be a victim in a mass shooting. No one wants to be a victim of this new dreaded deadly disease. I get all that. But I am one who has always believed, and history is full of examples. I'm one that is still of the opinion the 9 scariest words in the English language are, quote, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." You know, it's a sad commentary that in a country that was founded upon keep the government out of my life, I will be responsible for me and mine. I will be the one that will do whatever needs to be done to take care of me and mine. All I want you to do is stay out of my way and out of my pocket. I'll take care of everything else. We have literally had this bred out of us. Now, you can say what you will. Well, Clarence, you got to understand there are people out there that can't take care of themselves. True. The Bible tells us the poor will always be among us. So it's not as though we don't have some guiding principle to take care of these individuals. But I am also one that coined the phrase, freedoms and liberties encroached upon by government are seldom, if ever, returned intact. It should bother us as Americans that in the last, 20, 25 years, we've had instance after instance after instance of things happening in this country and around the world that specifically are designed that we, the people, cannot overcome. It's too big for people to handle. We need a government to handle this problem. Do you ever stop and think, how is it humankind has managed all these many years to survive on its own? All these many years with all of the things that have happened, that have popped up in the history of human beings, we've managed to get along nicely without some overarching, monolithic, all-encompassing, all-controlling entity taking care of us. I understand many of us either don't possess the ability to look at these things analytically, or, more troubling, we don't want to see them. The problem with that is, by the time you wake up and realize it, it's probably going to be too late. Ronald Reagan very famously said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. And you do realize extinction is the end. When it's gone, it's gone. And sadly, all you have to do is look at the narratives that have been propagated in this country in just the last 12 months. Defund the police. Socialism isn't all that bad. And the list goes on and on and on. And I would like to think that as a country, we are appalled, we are deathly afraid, and we are more aware than ever about what's going on. Sadly, the number of people that fall into those groups is probably the scariest thing of all. We have so many people in our country now that buy into the narrative that you can't do for self. You need government to do for you. You know, I as a person who makes his living with his voice, every year, about this time of the year, I go into a self-protect mode. And people that know me, they understand, so they don't get offended. I don't shake hands. I don't know where your hands have been. I don't know, what you touched. I don't know what's in your body when you cough into your hand or whatever. So I don't shake hands. I don't bro hug this time of year. Because if I catch something from you, my livelihood is gone. That's just a common sense approach. It's, thinking for myself and governing my actions accordingly. When a new virus is detected, and it's obviously circulating within the human community, certain things you can do to protect yourself. But when you're talking about one that has a survivability in excess of 99%, why then these draconian measures that are literally destroying not only the greatest economy in the world, but the world's economy in general? Say what you will about the side effects, the issues on the periphery, but I think we would be much better served if we were more concerned with the end game. What are we looking at as a nation when all of this is over? What at this point are we willing to give up? What freedoms, what liberties are we willing to exchange for safety? Who was it? Marty, help me out, founding father. Those willing to exchange freedom for liberty deserved neither. Ben Franklin. Thank you, Marty. If you are willing to give up liberty and freedom for security, you don't deserve either one. You truly don't. And at the end of the day, if you are one of those that's willing to do that, you're never truly free to begin with, are you? Some of y'all not going to get that till later, but that's okay, as long as you get it. Sadly, I'm starting to wonder if we're still capable of getting it. It pains me greatly to say that. It disappoints me greatly to even think that way. But if nothing else, I'm a realist. And all I have to do is look around at my fellow Americans. And this day, it's more apparent than maybe any other in my lifetime. Final break of this hour. Y'all line up. We're giving out free shots. That's next on the Clarence Bugg Show, right after Marty. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
There you go. Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. We are today no closer than we were November 3rd to getting an official certified count from the presidential election. I know, but Clarence, the media's already declared. That ain't how it works, y'all. That ain't how it works. And it's so easy these days to figure out, you slept during civics. You buying this crap. You didn't pay attention in civics. You didn't even take civics. You took it after they dumbed it down. The number of people, well, the media has said it's over. Wrong answer. It doesn't work that way, Hoss. Go back and dig up an old civics textbook and read. Read for yourself, okay? But more so than that, particularly those who are against Donald Trump. If you do nothing else for me in life, please consider doing this. Go to websites news organizations that you normally don't frequent, and familiarize yourself with the alleged irregularities in the 2020 vote count. As an individual who is blessed to have a platform, every time I see a story that grabs my eye, I'm obligated to go to the counter argument and examine it. So I'm well familiar with the alleged irregularities that have occurred in so many places in the country. As an American, there is nothing more sacred to me. Well, maybe I might want to backtrack that. There are two things that are most sacred to me. One is the integrity of our elections. The second is the ability to protest and, if need be, water the tree of liberty if it's found out that the integrity of the election process has been taken away. Listen, I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on. You as an American have to demand that the integrity of the process remains intact. If you don't do that as an American, regardless of what side of the aisle you reside on, I hope you have enough common sense to realize that if the integrity of the process disappears, your time is coming pretty soon. Don't ever be so naive as to think, well, they would only do this to Republicans, right? Don't ever be so naive as to think, well, they would only do this to Democrats, right? When the integrity of the process is impugned, all of us are fair game. When the integrity of the process is in doubt, all of us are in danger. When the integrity of the process is gone, no one is safe. You talk about the end game. If because of all of the hatred, the partisanship, the division that we have allowed them to sow among us, because of all of that, if we find ourselves at a point where, yeah, I know it's not right, but I hate this guy so much, I guess I could stomach it this time. If we find ourselves even beginning to entertain thoughts like that, this republic is in danger of being no more. And rest assured, despite what the talking heads tell you, despite what the folks in Hollywood tell you, despite what the folks on your side of the political aisle tell you, when that happens, none of us are safe. We have prided ourselves, and this country was founded upon the ideal that the individual is the most important cog in the whole wheel. It is the individual where the power resides. And when we, to whatever percentage, become of the opinion that someone else, some entity, some organization, some political party, some ideology is better suited to have that power than the individual, our days are numbered. Here's a real simple exercise, and I've mentioned this before. Go down the list of countries, past and present, that are either communist and or socialist. Make a list. And then check every single one that you would want to live in. Then, after you don't expend any ink at all, because there aren't any, check off every single one that you think folks in that country would die for to live in this country. However long your list is, that's how many check marks you're going to have. Realistically, there's not a single person, well, there is one, Kim Jong. There's not a single person living right now in North Korea that would rather live there than America. There's not a single person, well, other than the dictator, in Venezuela that would rather live there than live here. There's not a single person, other than Castro's son and his cronies, who would rather live in Cuba than live here. And yet, this day we find ourselves willingly this much closer to becoming that. History is full of examples of individuals forsaking what they have in hopes of greener pastures. History is full of examples of people that have gone down that path only to regret it terribly. This country has a sizable percentage of individuals that have come here managing to escape those countries that will tell you in no uncertain terms, this is not the way y'all want to go. I guess at the end of the day, the only real question will be, do we have enough sense to listen? That's why every single day at this time of the day you hear me say, you know what, you're right. America, nah, we're not perfect, but doggone it, for my money, it's the best there is. And God knows there is no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, really doesn't matter, because there ain't a doggone thing you could do about either one. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.